A country has lost 16 lives for extreme rainfall. More than 3 lakh people were under crisis. A country made history for highest rainfall in more than 50 years. That is Argentina. We're going to discuss about South America's one of the most important country that belongs to Argentina. We all know that there is crisis of glacier melting, which is extremely rising and extremely rising concern how we maintain our groundwaters and also our drinking water for a safe purpose. But when a country has facing a heat wave is more than 40 degrees and more than the nearby cities is also facing same issue, another purpose which we already watched in 2025 in March in Argentina, that was extreme rainfall, 300 millimeter rainfall in just 8 hours at almost near about the more than extreme violations of flood situation and 3 lakhs people were extremely crisis. This is not new. We always talked about the key issues that how the climate is changing. Sometimes extreme rainfall also become extreme disaster scenario. We know that the main capital, Buenos Aires, which is extremely belongs to coastal areas, and the crisis is actually that in 2100, which is very important year, by 2100 it becomes a sea level rise, which almost will capture more than 25% of the particular capital of Argentina. And that is the crisis because ice actually melting day by day. We have actually no protection zone regarding ice mapping and the scenario which already discussed about multiple videos that there should be a monitoring system and electronic gadgets, maybe artificial intelligence to maintaining the what is the actual scenario of melting. But the thing is that when we are talking about this kinds of scenario, Argentina in the South America was facing more a particular not only a melting crisis they were facing is forest fire. We all know the reflection of Amazon is extremely great, extremely painful that more than 60% Amazon is almost nearby facing deforestation. This is the time as to talk about reforestation in Argentina. This is the time to discuss about how to control this rainfall or a better water system, which is very, very important. There should be a particular protection regarding the people who are in crisis in the water scarcity. When we are talking about this kind of water issues, that sometimes creating a awareness or creating a craziness on regarding of how the water is contaminated by the melting rise, and another thing is the pollutions and other things. So there are multiple issues which I already discussed that there have in South America. When we are talking about Peru, there was a huge amount of melting crisis. Agricultural lands has completely become a damaging situations. Global economy also impacting from South America's countries. These kinds of climate crisis because they are losing their agricultural lands, they are losing their basic economical strength, and also it creating a global economy and also impacting. But when we are talking about these countries like which is very important regarding, we all know they are important for their sports and their performance, their beautiness, everything. People always face they are facing this kinds of country as a tourism place and other things. But the thing is that when we talk about these kinds of issues which is very, very important regarding part of this issue, we are talking about heat waves, we are talking about the sea level rise, we are talking about the coastal crisis, we are talking about the melting rise, melting ice melting, and also same thing on the belongs to emission, which is very important. Already Argentina has planned to maintain by 2050 to maintain the emission is come to the net zero. But is this a possible way that which we are actually going? Because we all know there's a Paris Agreement is extremely important for the particular issue. When projected temperature rise is more than 1.5 degrees Celsius, at least in north is going rise by the temperature rise daily. And in this year, in 2025 March, we already saw that Argentina, Brazil, South American, other countries, Peru, all actually was facing in February is more than 40-degree temperature. That is very important because in the past scenario, when we were talking about discussing on these kinds of time limits, they were not actually faced these kinds of scenario earlier. But present they are facing this kinds of scenario, increasing the crisis, and also they are facing their regular economical impact on the resource impact also, and also the daily lives. So what should be the measurement? What should be the process? How to save this kinds of country? First of all, the thing is the rainfall, which is extreme rainfall. I already told earlier, this is extreme climate crisis scenario. It's changing day by day. The climate structure, climate impulsiveness, and the climate frostiness, everything is actually changing for the perspective of what is actually environment is actually on the basis of the regularity, what is the nature and is impactful crisis of the human lives. So that is belongs to the when I was talking about the extreme rainfall. That was the point to maintain the process to maintain the water scarcity, which is very important when you're talking about coastal crisis. There should be the protection regarding coastal depth, which is very important regarding how to protect the coastal areas. More strong dam on the regarding of these kinds of issue and to save the coastal lives. Also, the sea level rise and the melting ice, which is very important. That should be the parameter. That should be the maintaining a electronic gadgets, electronic technical systems. There should be the artificial intelligence to maintain these kinds of parameter to control the melting ice, and which should be the benefit the upcoming days for the nearby countries and also the Argentina. So that is the point when we are talking about the especially the main capital about Buenos Aires, which is important by 2100, which is already scientists have mentioned. There should be a coastal flood is extremely high level rise for this disaster flood will come. So there should be the protection. There should be that process that we have time. We have more than 75 years. We have the particular time to maintain this as a process. We have the strategy of green transition, green energy, green procedure to maintain the CO2 emissions. So this is the way that we have to maintain some policies regarding laws and particular projecting on climate finance. That is very important. Regarding green transitions, regarding new project, regarding new policies, and regarding upcoming days, what should be the next generation thinking regarding this kinds of effect. So this is very important that people should educate on this. People should educate what is green transitions, what is green development, what will be the upcoming days futures, and what should be the strategy to fight this kind of issue, because we have to face it and we have to protect it. So there should be the particular green management, there should be the renewable energy sources regarding the particular days, regarding particular future, and there should be the particular way to maintain that we have to make proper reforestations, which is very important. Make sure that forest fire not go ahead of boundary. That is very dangerous for upcoming days, because Amazon is a biodiversity of not only a rainforest, a biodiversity to maintaining a state of Brazil, Argentina, Peru, and these kinds of countries, which is very important. And this is all. Another thing is the environment is family that should be maintained. That is the climate education. The green should be know everyone, and that should be the upcoming journey, and everyone should be educated on this, how to save a country of the particular basic structure on daily resource. That is very important. We have to maintain, we have to keep our energy and the renewable sources on the proper structure used to maintain the hydropower and the electricity, and that should be the maintained on the proper day on the coastal areas. So this is the process as my proposals, as my proposal to the country like Argentina, Brazil, and South American important nations, that I am Shobhit Chandra, Global Head, Global Climate Care, that I am promoting that not only a green transitions, not only a reforestation, not only a particular water resource management and the dignities, and this is the time to act on regarding humanity for an individual, to participation for an individual, participation for an individual on a development, on a better purpose, on a better future. And this is the way to make your future. This is the way to survive your future. Thank you. Thank you very much.